Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we are very pleased you have joined us for the Small Cap Growth Conference. Our next presentation of the day is from CyberloQ Technologies. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for a one-on-one meeting by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Chris Jackson, President of CyberloQ Technologies, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol CLOQ. Welcome, Chris.
Greg, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity here at CyberLock to present to the investor forum today through OTCQB. Just a couple of brief things before I really get started. I just want to let everyone know today's discussion items for the conference. We'll have a disclosure and compliance disclaimer that I'll show up next. Everyone's favorite, I'm sure. I'll spend probably the majority of my time talking today about our strategic partners and all of the current events and all things happening right now with CyberloQ Technologies. Fraud and its impact globally. One of the things that I think is very important for everyone on the call today to understand is that from a strategic marketing perspective, CyberLock, we really don't have to create any awareness or anything of that nature around fraud. It's pervasive and it impacts all aspects of our environment, whether it's financially, health, medical records, virtually anything protecting one's identity. It happens in real time. So that is one thing that we don't have to create in this environment. I'll also show you a video presentation of CyberLock Secure in one specific channel, and it's financial services. It's probably the largest aspect of fraud, and it's probably the one that everyone, or most everyone, or at least someone that you know, has been impacted by fraud in some way, shape, or form, whether they've had their identity stolen or they've had a debit or credit card compromised. That seems to be the most ways that the bad actors are stealing and making fraudulent transactions. Subsequent to the video presentation, I've got an additional PowerPoint discussion, and I'll show you some of the strategic partners that we have and that why we're excited about the road ahead in the last month of 2025. It's here, my goodness, and then moving into to 2026. So if you have questions, feel free to type them in. I'm not so ingrained in the presentation that I can't stop and look at your questions. And if I think that they're relevant to the topic at hand, I will be happy to answer them. And then I'll just jump right back into the presentation. So if you have questions, feel free to ask at your convenience. Otherwise, we've got a few minutes set aside at the very end. Perhaps the questions will stem from the actual video presentation. That seems to be where most people have the questions at. So with that, I'll move forward. Here is the disclaimer. Basically, it's in your best interest and my best interest not to share anything that hasn't already been made essentially public. So if you ask a specific question and it's not in the public domain, please don't be offended that I can't specifically answer. We all have to follow the same set of rules, and we're pretty good here at CyberloQ Technologies of only talking about things that are in the public domain. So I hope you can appreciate that. I know my current shareholders do. I consider them all friends, and if you'd like to become a shareholder of CyberLoQ, I would consider you to be a part of that friend network as well. So thank you for your understanding. So let's talk about some recent events. With CyberLoQ. We've got some strategic partners that really they make the founding members and our technology team really take the burden off, because there are certain things that I'm just simply not able to do. From a development perspective, Sean Watts, myself, the advisory board, we can come up with creative ideas. Our strategic partners, in terms of how our source code might actually work, but it's up to the developers and the coders to actually build it. And we've got a strategic partner in Cantata Solutions that is a global partner. They've been around for 25 years. They have around 1,500 employees worldwide. And so we're extremely pleased to have Cantata as a strategic partner, essentially ensuring that our infrastructure is available to scale, and it's workable 24/7, 365, which is essentially required by our business partners as we grow, not only here in the United States, but in the European theater and in Southeast Asia with our strategic partners. What are the things that have happened in 2025 that has gotten us to the point where we're at right now? One of the things that's imperative as we move into the financial services, which is probably one of the most complex and compliant, rigorous aspects of any of the channels that CyberLock Secure and its MFA will embark on, and that's essentially is compliance. Do we, as an organization, have the internal infrastructure, policies, and procedures that we can integrate our technology into a financial services partner platform, and they can rest assured that we're not going to be bringing any bad elements into their ecosystem? So we've partnered with Sprinto and Sensiba for our SOC 2 compliance and our audit capabilities, so that we have an outside third party that's looking in under the hood and ensuring that our development team, our employee infrastructure, we have policies and procedures in place that meet SOC 2 standards. And it's important that we're able to do that in real time. Had a little phone call there. Apologies. I thought I had it on mute. Real-time demonstration. And subsequent to that, at the beginning of the year, if you follow CyberLock and you've looked at our 8K filings and our public disclosures, back in February, we signed a reseller agreement with a longstanding partner, TransactPay Bank, they're out of UK, Gibraltar, and subsequent to that, in March, they were acquired by Marqeta. So that essentially, you know what happens when a company, a bank, is acquired by another company, they have to go onto the underwriting and the compliance and everything, and that essentially slowed our reseller referral relationship network down a little bit. That has since come to a conclusion, and now TransactPay and the team at TPL has finally been able to come out from underneath that, and the acquisition is complete, and they've begun referring strategic partners to us under their umbrella, and the first one of those was Orenda Finance, and that was made public just last month. Our second actual integration client prior to that, from October, is Pay Onward, which is that company is being run by Kerry Strange, who came over from QRail. So we've got a long-standing relationship with Kerry. He's a real forward thinker in the payments industry, and Pay Onward is a SaaS provider for small banks, credit unions, not the bigger banks, but the smaller banks that need that nimble financial services aspect. And one of the things, there's multiple use cases in both of Orenda and Pay Onward that CyberLock Secure's MFA is going to be able to handle. Obviously, the elephant in the room is card not present, but there's also bill pay, where you want to do an ACH and you're paying your vendors and things like that. If you're a small business, there is a lot of fraud in that eco channel that most people aren't aware of, unless you're a bank or a credit union. You're fully versed in that aspect of it. KYC. What is KYC? That's know your customer, right? So if you want to get a debit card, a credit card, you want to enter into the financial services aspect and get a bank account, the bank by law has to know who you are. So you have to prove your identity and things of that nature. One of the things that we're looking at is using the geolocation, the biometrics, and the MFA at the very onset of a KYC. So as an example, you say that you're so-and-so and you live in Dallas, Texas, and you sign up and you want to provide your proof of identity. You do that. However, when we ping your phone, it's in Serbia. That's going to be a red flag, and you're going to be denied entrance, and that in essence would get set off to the side. So you have to be able to prove who you are, and in real time, our MFA would block a bad actor, and those all go in accordance with anti-money laundering and things like that. So logging into a banking website, that would be another aspect where CyberLock Secure MFA, when you log in, you have the username and password credentials. We would validate and verify you in real time, so you are in fact the owner of said account, and you would then be allowed access. That would give you a great degree of comfort if your bank had something like that, and the bank knew and you knew that you were the only one who was going to be able to access that in real time. And the same thing could be held true in another channel, whether it's access to a financial services platform, your doctor or your dentist that has your medical files in a digital format. Any digital database or asset is what CyberLock Secure has the ability to authenticate in real time. So again, the beginning of the year, we had some compliance and some infrastructure issues that we needed to get past, and we've essentially done that, right? So now we're ready to do integrations and move to the next step. In that process, we've had some patent filings, and I think it's important to recognize some of the members of our advisory board team. We've got a group that meets on a weekly basis. Joe Lind has a background in banking. Joe was the president of Emory Credit Union in Cincinnati, Ohio for a couple of decades, so he brings a well-rounded approach to the financial services aspect. Mike Maraviglia, former Air Force pilot and captain for American Airlines and flew Boeing 787 Dreamliners. Mike currently works for Boeing, and he's been very instrumental in all of our patent work. I can't say enough about how glad we are and blessed we are to have Mike on the team. Literally, he's gone down and spent countless hours. We've got 3 patents that have been filed with the USTOP. Card not present, probably the most important aspect of that for SIM card swap and people stealing your SIM card, which they could steal your phone data and in turn all your passwords and everything. And then of course, durable medical equipment. We've got some relationships from our board of directors with some folks in Congress, and we've talked to them. We'll see what transpires on that in the future once we get a little further down the road. We have a 2026 vision and strategy for the company, and essentially what that entails is quietly doing integrations and growing at a reasonable pace, something that we can handle internally and externally. We don't want to get out too far over our skis. And again, we have a tremendous referral partner with Transact Pay and their whole eco channel in Europe and Asia. But we're going to start small. We're going to gradually get some use case scenarios, and we're going to go ahead and grow our business in a way that it's effective, and we can expand when we have the internal infrastructure and things of that nature that are required to deliver a superior product. We don't have to create awareness for fraud. I think I talked about that at the very beginning. Globally, card not present, it's just crazy. One of the things that I think is important to realize, in our technology right now, we can eliminate card not present fraud in real time. It's a pretty cool feature. But I think one of the things that banks and ultimately the providers will eventually understand is the Visas and MasterCards and Discovers of the world will eventually come to the conclusion is if they have a solution where everyone would feel comfortable and confident that their information their cards wouldn't be compromised by doing an online payment, I think that the overall online ecosystem would probably increase if they knew that there wasn't any, they weren't in any danger of getting their information stolen or compromised. So we're hopeful that we can get these use cases underway and start showing people the power of CyberLock Secure, and then get some additional opportunities within these different eco channels. Again, when you talk about the direct savings with the indirect benefits, the card not present patent viability is pretty impressive. I have to give Mike Maraviglia a lot of credit on this, because Mike spent 6 months looking at various patents. It's called prior art, and we have filed a patent that has viability in global finance, and we're excited to get that out there and get this in front of someone who can leverage this with our technology. So there's lots of different things. I'm getting some questions here. I think what I'm going to do is, when I show the video, that'll give me an opportunity to read some of the questions, and then I can, when we come back out of the video, it'll give me the opportunity to talk about some of them. So give me just 1 second here. We're almost to the video, as a matter of fact. And so again, we have an array of intellectual property. We've got multiple patents. I think it becomes a question of the different use cases. We don't want to get ahead. I've said this twice. We don't want to get out ahead of our skis. We want to stay in our lane, as a metaphor. Start small and grow our way into it. It's served us well up to this point, and I think that we're going to continue on that strategy. We have a lot of opportunities under the umbrella of the Transact Payment referral network, and we're going to go ahead and leverage that amongst a few other channels that we've got. So with that, I'm going to take 1 minute. This is a 4-minute how it works video, and then we'll circle back and I'll look at some of your questions, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. Hang on just 1 second.
Fraud is surging across financial services. More than half of U.S. banks report increases in business fraud. 2/3 say consumer fraud is rising too, and it's only getting worse. AI-powered fraud is expected to cost banks $40 billion by 2027, and that's before you consider the rapidly rising costs for insurance premiums and deductibles. Microsoft states, for example, that their identity management systems deflect more than 1,000 password attacks per second, and their research has found that 99.9% of compromised accounts do not have multi-factor authentication enabled. As the technology driving the threats becomes increasingly more sophisticated, it is imperative that financial services organizations respond with a best-in-class multi-factor authentication tool. It's time for something better. It's time for strong customer authentication powered by the CyberLock Secure MFA's use of something you know, such as a one-time passcode, coupled with something you have, such as the location of your phone, and finally, coupled with something that only you are, such as your fingerprint, face, or voice. Now, let's see how CyberLock Secure can be set up to protect users when they access their bank's online portal, as well as when they attempt to make a card-not-present purchase online. At Four Pillars Bank, Jolene signs in with her usual username and password. She's immediately prompted to enroll in multi-factor authentication, part of the bank's enhanced security rollout. She's directed to the security center where setup is simple and guided. If she hasn't already done so, Jolene downloads her bank's version of the CyberLock Secure tool and uses it to scan the activation QR code. This registers her phone for use of the MFA on her accounts. Once setup is complete, Jolene is asked to sign in again. This time, CyberLock pushes an authentication challenge directly to her phone. She verifies her identity using biometrics, quickly and securely. With identity confirmed, Jolene is granted full access to her bank account portal. Note that Jolene can elect to use the same biometric challenge every time a card-not-present transaction is initiated for her Four Pillars Bank credit card. Similar to logging into the bank portal, Jolene can enable CyberLock Secure for her credit card's CNP transactions. Now, if a bad actor has Jolene's stolen card details, when they attempt to make a purchase using her card, Jolene will receive a biometric challenge on her phone. In real time, Jolene is alerted to the fact that her card has been compromised and the fraudulent purchase attempt is denied. And as we saw earlier with CyberLock's strong customer authentication, bank customers can go even further, adding layers like geofencing, voice recognition, and a one-time passcode to strengthen the fraud protection. For instance, let's take a look at how Jolene can increase security when using her 4 Pillars bank credit card by using CyberLock's geofencing to limit the location from which point-of-sale transactions can be completed. In this example, simplified for demonstration purposes, we set up an exclusion zone around Jolene's home province of Ontario, Canada. So, when Jolene tries to initiate the purchase, CyberLock Secure's geofencing feature blocks her attempt. Now, when we switch it to an inclusion zone and Jolene initiates the payment again, CyberLock's geofencing confirms her allowed location and authorizes the purchase to go through. These examples demonstrate how CyberloQ Secure empowers financial institutions to stay ahead of fraud with real-time strong customer authentication. When your customers' usernames and passwords are stolen, the bad actors are able to walk right in the front door. Implementing CyberloQ Secure's multi-factor authenticator reduces that risk by transforming the user's smartphone into a deadbolt lock that tightly secures their accounts, which deepens customer trust, lowers your institution's costs, and protects your reputation. Book your demo today at cyberlock.com.
Okay, so thank you for watching that demonstration. We've got, so far there's about 10 or 12 questions, 10, 11, 12 questions in there. Let me just do this. I'll briefly go through, these are our partner strategies. There's some questions regarding Transact Pay. This is our networking referral partner, as is Pay Onward. Pay Onward is going to also be a direct reseller of our product, as is Orenda Finance. So these companies are essentially creating a unique aspect and being able to go to their particular networks and be a difference maker in preventing fraud. In European theater, banks and program managers, they're 100% responsible for the fraud. Banks don't eat any of that. It's completely different over in Europe. So our product is extremely going to be extremely welcomed, in our humble opinion, as we start to get traction in the European theater. Wrapped agency. So several months back, we decided that we needed to do a rebrand, and we hired Wrapped out of UK. Very, very forward thinking. And one of the things that Sean Watts and myself, we think it's a completely different mindset to brand a company. And while we have the best of intentions, we decided to hire professionals, and we're extremely excited about the direction that they're bringing us. So the referral partners that we get from Transact Pay and Orenda and Pay Onward, when they send their clients to our new website in January 1, it'll have a completely different look and feel. We've got a new look and feel, new logo, extremely professional, and we're extremely happy with Mark and his entire team at Wrapped. This just gives you an idea of the quality of their work in terms of some of this is what our new look and feel is going to be like, opposed to what we have right now. Not that there's anything wrong with what we have right now, mind you, but this is a much cleaner, professional look, and this is the direction that we're going. So I think what I'll do now is I'll take a moment and I'll read some of the questions that we have. We have about 6 minutes left, so I should be able to get some of these questions asked. And here's one. You recently hired the Wrapped brand agency as a global marketing partner. What KPIs have you given them? Pipeline growth, demos, and what are early signs of impact are you seeing inbound or partner-driven opportunities? Well, I think the main reason that we haven't done any of that and seen any of that yet because the new website is not live. However, this was a direct referral from one of our marketing partners. So we have a high degree of confidence in what Wrapped is doing and our new brand and our new look and feel. How many programs or issuers has TransactPay already introduced to CyberLock, and what are the internal targets for live programs by the end of 2026? Wonderful question. One, and that's Orenda, and that's the first one. And I think it would be safe to say that there are as many opportunities in 2026 for CyberLock Secure under the Transact Payment umbrella as we can internally deliver. And that's really it. We need to be able to walk before we run. I don't think there's any shortage of opportunity under the TPL umbrella for that. Someone has an interesting question about our patents. I'll say this about our patents, especially in the card not present. We will, as we grow and we get in our use case scenarios, it's the opinion of counsel that under the right circumstances, our patents are in fact defensible, and they're unique enough that card not present is the elephant in the room, and our patent is defensible, and that's kind of all I can say about it at this point. What are the top 3 product enhancements that you must make in the next 12 months to win larger enterprise or tier 1 financial customers? Great question. I think what we have to be able to do in order to get to a tier 1 financial client is get 3 or 4 or 5 use case smaller customers and deliver seamless access for their clients, and literally show that we have a seamless user interface. You know, our product could be white labeled. So again, as long as the end user, there's minimalistic friction, and that's one of the things that we've strived to do, is have minimalistic friction for the end user experience. And then on top of that, it works and prevents fraud. I think that's going to be the ultimate test for us to get to those tier 1 financial customers. Great question. Thank you. How does CyberLock Secure's multi-factor authentication stack compare to established players like Okta, Duo, or cloud native MFA? So I like that question because when you think about it, in the MFA industry, there's not a lot of things, biometrics is not unique. Geolocation is not unique. One-time password is not unique. However, if you sequence them in a unique fashion, and then you can change that sequencing in real time, now you have a unique product. Unfortunately, I didn't put that screen in my slideshow. Thank you for that suggestion, because next time I'll have it. If you do a Grok or a Chat GBT search and you ask that question and include CyberLock Secure, it'll come up with a chart and it'll show you precisely what we have over the competition. We're pretty proud of that, actually. As far as SOC 2, Sensipa, and an external audit, there are no. We've got our SOC 2 Type 1, and there's no regulatory roadblocks for enterprise adoption. We're under our SOC 2 Type 2 protocol right now, and there's nothing preventing us from doing integrations right now. Great question. Given the company's stage and risk profile, what are your priorities when considering future financing, minimizing dilution, securing strategic investors, and accelerating growth at all costs? That's probably that's a really good question, and I've got 45 seconds left before Andrea comes on and turns off the recording. So I'll say this: we are truly blessed with a core group of angel investors that have supported us throughout the entire growth pattern. Now that we're ready to go live and we're integrating into the financial services and we'll be deriving some revenue, that same group is going to ensure success until we get to the point to where we're cash flow positive. Don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And the same core group right now essentially owns the majority of the equity within the company. So we're in pretty good shape. We've never taken bad money, and I don't think we're going to start now. This is Chris Jackson with CyberLock Secure. I want to thank you all for participating in today's program. If you have questions or concerns and I didn't get an answer, my apologies. Please check on the, you can send me an email at chris@cyberlock.com, or you can check the schedule and schedule a one-on-one meeting with me, and I'll be happy to spend as much time as possible with you over the next 3 days if I wasn't able to answer your questions. Thank you so very much.